Hello, folks. Welcome back to World War II TV. And for those in the comments wondering about the format, this is a shameless plug for our Normandy tours that we run in April and October. So I'm going to bring Mag in. She is my partner in crime on the tours. She's 2 rooms away from me in the dining room. Hi, Mag. How are you?
Hello, Paul. Hello, everyone.
So basically, folks, when we started World War II TV, I was a full-time battlefield guide. Mag is a battlefield guide, but then realized that I bang on my tours, on my World War II TV shows, a lot about getting inland in Normandy and making sure that you see things beyond the D-Day beaches. And Mag and I had never worked together in our touring past. We worked alongside each other, but never together. So we put together this tour that we kind of call Woody and Mag's favorites, and we run at the beginning of the year and one at the end of the year. So Mag's going to help out with some of the descriptions of it because she's better than me at this, and Mag will be dealing with all the bookings, hopefully when they come in. And tell us about the dates, Mag. They're up on screen now. So we call it a spring tour and an autumn or fall tour if you're the other side of the Atlantic. So there are the dates on screen there, Mag, and we're based out of Bayeux in Normandy. What else do you want to say about the dates, Mag?
Well, we definitely decided to choose a period where Normandy was not too crowded, specifically this year because, well, 2024 80th anniversary. So I'll let you guess how crowded and crazy busy it's going to be. So we picked up the basically first week of April and the first week of October. Weather is, well, there's never any certitude about the weather in Normandy, but well, last year we had 2 fantastic weeks. So yes, that period of the year, the weather can be really great. Days are definitely longer, and sites are not too crowded. So perfect timing.
And that's the thing, folks. I mean, I know there's a lot of people I see on Facebook and on Twitter talking about coming, not necessarily in June, but even in the summer, in July and August. And of course, the weather is good in Normandy, but in a big anniversary year, and this is the 80th anniversary, what happens after June is lots of people think about coming and go, oh, let's go to Normandy, because they've been reminded of it because they've seen it on the TV, they've seen the commemorations. Well, that's a perfectly feasible option, and the sites will be nice and sunny theoretically in July and August. But as Mag said there, we chose these dates because of the ease of getting around, because it's nice to have the sites a little bit quieter to yourself. And to illustrate the tour and talk about it, to advertise it, we're using a whole lot of photos, most of which were taken by Tim Lambert, our American friend, who took both the April tour last year and liked it so much he came back and took the October tour. So Tim, thank you very much for the permission to use your photos, and they are great. He's a kind of amateur but very good photographer. So the 7 days of the tour is designed to cover a selection of places in Normandy without necessarily being comprehensive. I mean, there are a couple of the landing beaches we don't go to at all because, as I said earlier, if you watch me on World War II TV, I'm always saying that if you do all the June the 6th sites, you are to some extent repeating yourself. The purpose of this tour is to get inland. So we'll go through and talk about what we do on the tour and show you the photos. But before we do that, how to book. So shameless plug, as I say, the description, the link is in the description below, as all the information is always in the description below on World War II TV on YouTube. So you'll find our merchandise links. But importantly, that's the link to my touring website and the page about the group tours that we run. And from there, you can use the contact me function, and the message comes through to me, which I then look at and usually forward to Mag, because Mag does some of the administrative work of this. So there we are. Oh, and JD from History Underground is watching, and Willie and Nikki, they were on a tour last year. They're watching. Ian Carr is watching. He was on a tour last year. There's already some comments coming in about it being a long tour. Well, again, you've heard me talk on this channel numerous times about how big and extensive the Normandy battle is. 77 days. The Normandy is about 4,000 square miles. We cover a lot of miles on this tour because we get you right into the July and August battles. That's the whole point. So we'll kind of go through what the tour covers. So the day 1 is our and day 2 are our D-Day days. So it starts on Omaha Beach, finishes on Gold Beach and Port Saint, and we'll take you through some of the photos and what we do. So this is the rough route we cover. It won't mean very much to you there because you can't see it in good enough quality to see all the stops we make there. But we base ourselves in Bayeux, which is where Mag and I live. There's a hotel right near where we live, which is our tour HQ. It's where the restaurants all are. And we'll talk about the fact that all bar 2 evenings of this trip, we cover the meals. So we cover the breakfasts are covered by the hotel, the lunches are covered by us, the evening meals, bar 2 for evenings, are all part of the tour. And in terms of the price, we pitch our price. It's all on the website from the link. We're very, very competitive compared to the big American tours coming over. No names. We feel we're priced somewhere in the middle. There are cheaper tours, but there are more expensive tours. I act as the guide. And Mag acts as a tour manager and also the guide. So the Omaha day, well, these are some of Tim Lambert's photos. As anyone who has been to Normandy, Omaha Beach is very photogenic. And we'll take you through some of these photos there. We do a lot of walking on the tour. We should specify that, Mag. There's always the option to stay on the bus if you don't want to walk the distances, but we walk several miles a day over the course of each day. And we start about 8:30 and get back at about 6, and the group stays together. Tell us more about, Mag, how you see it as a group spirit, because we like to become a real family. So that's important to us, isn't it?
Well, from the very beginning, the whole idea about putting up that tour together was also to connect with WW2TV community, which is a fantastic community. And probably the sidebar tells it all, the friendship or the camaraderie. And it's so great to see all of them, commenting every day. So we really wanted to have an HQ, have everyone staying at the same hotel, and spend most of the evenings, except for 2, as you said, together, because, we really wanted to create a great group spirit. And, I think we not only created that, but it seems like there's a April and October 2023 families now. And friendship was made, and they all connected over the common passion they have for Normandy, for World War II, and it was absolutely fantastic. So the group is a very important element of the tour, of what we put together for those tours.
No, definitely. And just to make it clear, the itinerary doesn't change from April to October. Just Tim Lambert liked it so much, he came back again. And one of the things that's difficult to kind of explain in the limited time we have just talking about it today is that each day connects to the next day. So the last stop on each day is sort of the transition stop that then takes it forward to the next day. And we focus on trying to cover the various nations. So we look at the involvement of the Poles and the Falaise Gap, Americans and Brits and Canadians. We look at the use of air power. We particularly look at the different varying types of terrain. We have a day called Terrain Day that covers the terrain. So this photo here is of us right at the eastern end of Omaha Beach. This is where some of the existing shingle still is. We do a walk. We walk down from Desquesne 60 down towards Desquesne 61, and we walk past the shingle. I give a running commentary all the time. That's me talking. That's my back to the camera there, talking to the group. That's the October tour. And we walk down this section of beach. So one of the things we don't want to talk negatively about other tours, but one of the things about some of the tours is that you're on the bus, off the bus. Quite often you don't get time to kind of breathe at the sites. And on our Omaha tour, we walk along the top of the bluffs from Vierville-sur-Mer to Saint-Laurent-sur-Mer. We also walk, as I said a minute ago, down from Desquesne 60 along, which is at Colville-sur-Mer, along to another part of Colville-sur-Mer. So we really get to breathe in and take in Omaha. We see it from the German positions, we see it from the beach, plenty of time to take photos, and we build up this idea. This is us up above the bluffs on Omaha Beach. And this is a place that a lot of tour groups don't go to. Some do, but many don't. And
this day itself is just absolutely fantastic to spend who never wanted to spend pretty much the whole day on and off Omaha Beach. As you said, this is what most of the tours absolutely do not do. Even tour guides have never been to the top of the bluff. So this is just this day, which is probably one of my favorite because I'm a huge fan of Omaha Beach. I mean, that day is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and this is the top of Cota's Draw. And if you don't know what Cota's Draw is, come on the tour and we'll tell you. A lot of groups drive past the bottom of Cota's Draw. JD, who's watching, has talked about Cota's Draw on his channel, History Underground, but a lot of people haven't been to the top of Cota's Draw and looked down. This is one of the breakthrough sites on Omaha Beach. There's me back at the other end of the beach. That's the western end there. Vierville-sur-Mer, explaining whatever I was explaining in that particular time there. And there's a photo taken from WW2TV 60. So that's the eastern end, looking all the way down the 4.5 miles of beach there. So that's day one, is when we really cover how the amphibious landings were planned, because the overarching D-Day plan is more or less the same per 5 landing beaches: naval support, air support, first wave, second wave, third wave, break off the beach, push inland, and get to the inland objectives. So we use Omaha as, if you like, the case study, but we also talk about gold, we talk about sword. The beach we don't go really anywhere near is Utah Beach, because we focus on the American Airborne, but that's a bit later on the itinerary. We'll get to that in a minute. And there's the group from October standing at WW2TV 60 by one of the Tobrucs there, looking down the beach. So we keep, another good point, Mag, about group size. We don't have a massive group. Our max is about 22 people, which is manageable. It means we can eat together. We don't completely take over restaurants. It means everybody gets a chance to talk to me. They get a chance to talk to Mag. And particularly, it's the bus size, isn't it, Mag? We choose a bus size that gets us to places that bigger buses wouldn't do. So if you want to talk more about how the tour, we manage it, Mag, that now would be the time, I guess.
Well, yes, as you said, we don't want to have a bigger group than 25 people. And that is a possibility for us to get a bus that can fit 27 or 28 and basically can go anywhere. And we had a fantastic driver in last October, who, well, took us absolutely anywhere we wanted. And that was absolutely brilliant as well. Very comfortable bus, and was really easy. And well, WN60, we managed to go with the bus over there. So that was great. We're making up lots of time as well. We can go through the narrow roads of Normandy, and that's really also a big part of the pleasure we get from that tour.
No, definitely. Mag reminds me to say that we don't just go to very touristy places. Some of them are. There are some main touristy places everybody's heard of: Pegasus Bridge, Omaha Beach, American Cemetery on the last day, the Falaise Gap, perhaps is very famous. But there's villages we go to that you wouldn't be able to find on a map. We go there because it's part of this narrative we're trying to use of the Battle of Normandy. I should say, although there aren't any photos, because I didn't put all the photos up, we finished day one, I think I said it earlier, at Port-en-Bessin, which is where British commandos landed, and we start talking about the build-up of a force big enough to break in land. We talk about, we basically open up the idea of commandos, and the reason I chose commandos for a second day is I think it's one of the underappreciated, overlooked aspects of D-Day, which is the linking up of Sword, Juno, and Gold beaches by British commandos, landing on the edges of these beaches, then moving kind of laterally and finding and filling in the gaps between the beaches. And they often get lumped in with the airborne, and we do on Commando Day include some British airborne sites, but the Commando Day is really fantastic. This is the morning of the Commando Day. So we go up the other side of Caen, up to the east of Caen. We actually start near where Band Beach would have been if Band as a landing beach had happened. It ends up getting replaced. And we start off looking at some really cool bunkers up at Merville, Franceville. That's me there explaining what the 6th Airborne Division are doing, explaining where the defenses are on one of the bunkers that is now kind of not disintegrating, collapsing into the dunes there, because this area gets underwater sometimes in the winter. So that's me with the October group. These are some of the bunkers we see there. It's really cool. Colin is reminding me, commandos they liberated Port-en-Bessin. They didn't land there. They came from the beach to Port-en-Bessin. Well noted there, Mr. Taylor. Another excellent Normandy guide who you'll probably, if you book this tour, get to see on one or other of the evenings, because Colin likes to come and meet the group and have a couple of beers. Another photo of the bunkers we visit at Franceville-Merville, which are the observation area for the famous Merville battery inland, which we don't cover. We cover these bunkers here. This is an interesting stop. It doesn't mean much, that photo, but here we are at a place called Omfreville on what I call the Commando Airborne Ridge, which is where I explain the purpose of what the commandos are doing, what the airborne are doing. Right in the background there, you can see across the Sword Beach. So we talk about Sword Beach without standing on Sword Beach. We overlook Sword Beach, and we walk among the walls of the Omfreville Chateau. So amazing commando history has took place there. It's a great day, isn't it? It's one of the ones that most people on the tours in April and October didn't know much of these stories, but really appreciated it, I think. Obviously, we do Pegasus Bridge because we end up having lunch near Pegasus Bridge. So maybe a good time to mention the fact of what sort of lunches we do, Mag.
Yes, well, so we have 6.5 days touring. So that's 6 lunches. Last time we did like 4 times in a cafe, brasserie, for a quick but nice lunch. We stopped for about 1 hour. And the 2 other days we have lunch boxes that were quite good, fresh, delivered by the next door bakery at the hotel just before we leave. So we were very fortunate with the lunches this time. And for dinners, well, we have 5 dinners covered and 2 evenings, free evenings. So there's 2 evenings at the hotel. The first evening, like a welcome dinner, so everybody gets to know each other, and we explain the program of the tour into much more details. And then we do another evening during the week, like a pizza, very informal evening. And then we have 3 others evenings in restaurants downtown Bayeux. And then you have the possibility to have 2 free evenings to enjoy, more places in Bayeux. And that's my role on the group. You are, of course, the leading historian and tour guide, and I'm here just to make sure that people are fed, warm, happy.
Toilet stops.
What?
Toilet stops. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. We make sure that you're comfortable. That's rule number 1. And I just, being the local guide, being born here and raised here, now and then will bring the Normand civilian aspect of it. But, this is you, Paul.
You as well. And this is the afternoon of the Commando tour. So we kind of go cross country up to the area kind of between Sword and Juno beaches. We talk about commandos again, and then we kind of follow inland. There's a great location we stop at where we talk about 21st Panzer's counterattack on D-Day, because that's another overlooked aspect. We always focus on what the Allies are doing, and we don't talk enough about what the Germans are doing. Well, that's part of the afternoon. And then before we go back to Bayeux, we go to the village of Rots, R-O-T-S. Americans and Brits will look at it as Rots, but it's pronounced Row. Another great commando story there. This is Luc Sommer explaining about civilians. We're talking about the bombardment. We talk about the role of the Navy. A monument to 46 Royal Marine Commandos in Luc Sommer there, which we stop at. This is in the village of Row, where the last stop on day 2. A great commando story. There's a fantastic book we reference a lot on this tour. And by the way, if you book the tour, you get an accompanying book that I produce that I get made up with all color photos and maps and wartime photos that you can take out with you on tour. So you don't have to look at my display materials. You individually have your own display materials, which is fantastic. This, again, won't mean much to you, but if you've been on the tour in April, October, you'll remember what happened at that wall there. A particular commando got killed there. We talk about him. We look at the nature of fighting through these little villages and how important the commando role was to push inland from the beaches towards the next phase of line of objectives, which is the road between Bayeux and Caen, which leads us nicely to day 3, Terrain Day, which is unusual because we cover 3 nationalities, 3 different nations on that day. We start with the Canadians at Le Mesnil-Patry, and then very important Canadian advance halted by the 12th SS on June 11th. Then we move through to Tilly-sur-Seulles, point 103. We talk about the Sherwood Rangers. We talk about the Durham Light Infantry. We talk about 24th Lancers. This is the route we do on the morning of Terrain Day. So we look at the open wheat fields in the British sector, something I talk about a lot on this channel. Talk about some of that. Point 103, Terry Down watching. We cover point 103. We stop there and we talk about the push down towards Saint-Pierre. This is point 103, near where the water tower is. We cover that. Again, if you don't know what point 103 is, book the tour and we'll tell you. This is us stopping in Saint-Pierre for a fantastic memorial where the local homeowner carved individual regimental crests on slate, and they're on the wall there. People are taking photos. That's the April tour, that one there. It's a fantastic stop. Robin says, no, we don't cover Brecon. It's we can't do everything. We do, when we get to Airborne Day in a minute, we'll explain what we do on the Airborne Day, but no, we don't do Brecon. There's lots of places we don't do on this tour. It will be 2 weeks long if we included lots of other places. We've tried to be selective and choose a range of famous places and a range of places that you would never go and see. This is an important part of the afternoon of Terrain Day, where we actually walk about 1.5 miles through sunken hedgerows. Now, obviously in April, the leaves aren't fully green yet, but it gives you a really fantastic idea. That's the group going up there. There's anybody who's watched this channel, you know, we've all heard about the bocage. And the purpose of Terrain Day is to explain some people are fighting through bocage and others are fighting through open wheat fields. But there's no way better to get an understanding. Yes, but Colin Taylor, the biggest plaque at Saint-Pierre is the Durham Light Infantry. Yes, well, you're very proud of that. We're all very proud of that. But by walking through the hedgerows, you get a real appreciation of what they are. And it's one of the things I think those who are watching tonight who did the tours will appreciate. That hedgerow walk is very informative, but it's also a good thing for bonding. The group starts to kind of break into its little subsects and people talk about things. And by day 3, the jokes are coming thick and fast. We have fun as well as we learn. It's really cool. Another photo of the sunken lane there, which is really cool. And this is the afternoon of the Terrain Day. So the afternoon of the Terrain Day is focusing on the taking of Saint-Lô. And the town of Saint-Lô is important militarily. It's a key objective of the American First Army, the 5th Corps, but it's also where Mag was born. So Mag does some of the guiding in the afternoon. This is Mag on screen there guiding at this big civilian cemetery in Saint-Lô. We talk about the civilian suffering. That's Mag using the book you will receive if you book the tour. Again, that's 2 different outfits, so that's 2 different tours. I think that's the October one and that's the April, or the other way around. So I'm the assistant guide there. Do you want to add anything about how important Saint-Lô is to you and why we do it, Mag?
I'm just watching the pictures. It's just blue sky. So that's, we're lucky with that. Well, there's so much to see in Saint-Lô because it's also extremely visual. Going to the church, going to the cathedral, the cemetery, the civilian cemetery, and the chapel. I think everyone also enjoy going there. The hedgerows, the sunken lane walk, and I just want to also explain something that I really appreciate a lot during the last 2 tours. It's how international it was.
Yeah,
we had Americans, we had British, we had Europeans, we had Australians, people from different background, ages. And that was also something really fantastic to share a week of a tour with, you know, with one thing that bring us all together. It's history and, well, the Battle of Normandy specifically.
Yeah. And that photo on screen now is worth pointing out because when we have people on the tour who also know their subjects, we encourage them to participate as well. That's the April tour. That's Philip Bradley, the Australian historian, has been on World War II TV many times, but he wrote an article for After the Battle magazine years ago about the Battle of Saint-Lô. So he's adding his information about the Battle of Hill 192. So that's an important 2nd Division objective towards Saint-Lô. That's us at the foot or at the top of Hill 192, looking back towards the beach there. So we encouraged the guests to join in. We had Jonathan on the April tour. His dad was in 24th Lancers, so he added some stuff at point 103. It's very much we're working together. Some tours can be very, listen to me, this is my stuff. We like to feed off what the group bring. It's a collaborative experience. We're all in it together. It's a really good spirit. So this is the chapel Mag mentioned in Saint-Lô. That's a memorial to 9/11. We can explain again all the details of why that exists when you come and book the tour. That's the chapel in Saint-Lô that we get a special privileged group access to, which has displays about the 29th Division, 30th Division, etc., etc., etc. It's really good stuff. Another church in Saint-Lô we talk about with lots of spang on the outside. And day 4, because we want to make this video not too long, is the American Airborne and La Haye Depuis. Now, when you asked earlier about Brecourt Manor, one of the things people do when they visit Normandy to see the American Airborne site is they go from the area around Saint-Marie-Église doing some airborne stuff. They then go east to Utah Beach to see the follow-up landings over there. And it's a very viable, very popular, very cool way of seeing the airborne sites. But what we do is we go west. So we start at Lafayette, the famous battle over the Murderay River. That's Lafayette. That's the Iron Mike Monument. And then we go west because we go on where the 82nd Airborne went. That's me explaining things at Lafayette Manor. In April, Helen Patton, whose foundation owned part of Lafayette Manor, she was there to meet the group. Whether we can promise that in April or October, we'll see this year. But Helen's offered around. She's a friend of ours, so you kind of get to meet or have a chance to meet people we know in Normandy and hear their perspective as well. So we push on. That's Corkany, the other side of the Murderay River. You'll hear all about that. Marty Morgan has talked about it on the channel, but you'll be there in the sites. You'll see bullet damaged railings. You'll see the stained glass windows, etc., etc. That's Lafayette Causeway. We walk across Lafayette Causeway, so we get to appreciate what the American troops on June the 9th did, pushing across there. We walk across, so you get that appreciation. And this is another stop that's really integral to this day. This is one of the 5, the French call them mountains around Lafayette, La Haye Depuis. Hills will be better. This is Mont Deauville. And this is the area, the units that have been up to Cherbourg are now pushing down to try and seal off the Cotentin Peninsula. This is the 79th Division, the 82nd Airborne, the 90th Division, and most people who'd been on our tours last year had been to Normandy before. None of them had done these locations there. The views are fantastic. The stories are fantastic. It all sets everything up ready for the following day, which talks about Operation Cobra. This is the foot of Hill 95. If you haven't heard of Hill 95, this is the 82nd Airborne's last campaign or last battle in Normandy. JD did a fantastic video I helped a little bit with for History Underground about Hill 95. This is another memorial at the foot of Mont Castre to an American tank crew. Now, it's in the middle of nowhere, this monument, but we found it. We want to take you there. We talk about what it's like to be a tanker in Normandy. We talk about how different tactics are employed to battle their way through the Normandy hedgerows and the wheat fields, and the situation that is kind of brewing come the middle of July. That's the Airborne La Haye Depuis Day. Then day 5 is Operation Cobra. So Operation Cobra, we also talk about Blue Coat. That's the route we do. So a lot of driving because we go all the way down to Avranches, but fantastic day again. Very, very visual. We start in Perrier, which is a fantastic little town with a fantastic monument, the 90th Division. There's a couple of, again, Tim Lambert's fantastic photos. This is the village of Perrier. There's some memorials there. We talk about. This is a German cemetery at Marigny. Now, again, a lot of people who come to Normandy, the German cemetery they do is La Combe, or maybe they do the one at Orgland. We do Marigny because it's on the way to Saint-Lô. So part of the Greater Saint-Lô campaign. This is me talking a little chateau. I won't tell you where the chateau is now, but if you book the tour, we'll take you to this church overlooking the chateau, a very important figure in the battle. I give you a clue. He wore grey, not green, was in this chateau at the beginning of Operation Cobra. We talk about what he was witnessing. We talk about the bombardment, the hundreds of bombers that came over. We cover all that. We then push on down to Avranches for lunch. Avranches has views across the Mont Saint-Michel. Then we go to Mortain, where the American 30th Division had this incredible stand. That's us there at Hill 314. I'm talking to the group there. That's the back of the chapel there. That's the April group, isn't it? And the 30th Division have their monument there. There's the views of the rocks. We hear about forward observers. We hear about artillery. Rob from History Explorers is watching. I think he did some stuff about forward observers with us on World War II TV. Artillery comes into Operation Cobra and Mortain as a main subject. It's a fantastic day. Lots of visual appeal, lots of great views, lots of fantastic history. And then at the end of Operation Cobra, it leads us to the last full day, which is the Falaise Pocket. Now, most of you have heard of the Falaise Pocket. This is the loop we do. So we go off southeast of Caen. We go to, this is the other side of Moissy Ford. We go to Saint-Lambert-Cerdie. We talk about the Canadians. We talk about the Poles. We talk about the Americans over on the south. We talk about the British pushing up from behind. We talk about air power, etc., etc., etc. This is Moissy Ford. Fantastic location. This is us up on Hill 122 in Saint-Lambert-Cerdie, talking about artillery, talking about David Curry, Victoria Cross recipient. We talk about the Germans, 100,000 of them trying to break their way out of the pocket. This is a place that we can get our bus to. The bigger buses probably can't get to. It's a fantastic stop, very visual, lots of views. It's really great stuff. Again, this is talking about Polish armor. Ron there wearing denims and a BlackBerry. He's Polish American. He's one of his members of his family was involved with the 3rd Polish 1st Armor Division, so he was wearing uniform in tribute to them. We're talking about this epic tank battle that took place where we're standing between Shermans and Fireflies and Mark IVs and Panthers. A fantastic location that, again, not that many tour groups go to. We go to Montormel. There's the monument there, or statue of General Maciek, the Polish 1st Armored Division commander. There's a view from Montormel across towards the Falaise Pocket there, all lying in front of you. It's just a fantastic day. And we put to the Polish Cemetery as well, was a great stop there, and honor their dead, which brings us to the last day, which is all about remembrance. So we don't do many explanations there. We go to the British Memorial at Vers-sur-Mer. That's me standing there looking mean and moody. That's the album cover. That's the when I do my album of moody poetry, punk poetry. That's Colin's job. That'll be the album cover. So that's the British Memorial at Vers-sur-Mer. So we have some time there. We take the bus there, of course, and it's a nice, quiet time to visit it. Not too many crowds. Great views from there back to Gold Beach. Then we go to the American Cemetery, and that's basically what we do, Mag. And we wanted this show to not be too long. We're at about 32 minutes. So that's basically what we do. So again, Mag, remind us that it's the starting dates again.
Well, April, it's going to start March the 31st, but welcome dinner the day before, so you have to check in the hotel on March the 30th. Last day is April the 6th.
Yeah.
Then for the fall, it's going to be from October 6 to 12, and same thing, better to check in the night before because we have that welcome dinner at the hotel. So book 7 days each time. Anyone who's interested, you gave the email address,
Yep.
and then we'll give you all the information to book. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer that. Watching again all those pictures, I realized how it was such a wonderful couple of tours this year. And
we had a couple of great groups.
People were asking about other location, and yes, we made also the choice not to go to Sainte-Mère-Église. We wanted to show a bit more of the Normandy we know, of the beaten path, going to battlefields where people don't go often, and we both, well, I've been living here basically all my life. You've been living here for more than 20 years. You've been guiding for 20. I've been guiding for 12. So we have quite a good experience of the terrain. We're both fluent French, are we, Paul?
Well, one of us is, and it's not me. I get by.
No, but
Yeah.
No, I'm teasing you, but that was the opportunity. We had two magic moments in the tour last year, and that kind of miracles also happen when you get a local guide.
Yeah, and the point we made is, you're not going to get to see some of the famous sites, but none of the sites we do take you to will you regret seeing, if that makes sense. And some people extended their trip by 2 or 3 days to go back and see some of the sites that we didn't cover. And some people have been to Normandy before. The point is, we were quite brave with this selection of places because it is quite easy to just be safe and pick to 6 or 7 days of just very famous sites with lots of museums. We do one museum of the entire 6.5 days because we want to take people to these sites that are important for the whole Battle of Normandy. I cannot stress it enough. It's not a D-Day tour. It's not a comprehensive D-Day tour. It's a D-Day and Battle of Normandy tour that covers a lot of sites that we really want to get to. I have a couple of questions we'll talk about. So Bob is asking about the best way to travel to England. Well, the most common way is come over on a ferry. So Portsmouth to Ouistreham, and then you can make your way to Caen or something like that. And we sometimes can help with transport. Some other people, you can come from Eurostar into Paris and come out. That's possible. There are various ways of getting from England. Accommodation, we will include that if you are interested. And you don't have to commit just by sending us an email. Just send us an email, even if you're half thinking about it, and we'll send you back the information. You can decide not to or to proceed. But we will explain how we have a tour HQ set up. It's very important to us. We said it earlier that we can't try to keep the group together so we can have breakfast together. I can do the briefings in the morning. We really want to foster this group spirit. We try and keep things quite informal. Mag mentioned the pizza night, so it's not all 5-course meals at fancy restaurants. You can do that on your nights off if you want. We keep it to more kind of homely, social things. We don't mind teasing each other, etc., etc. So the accommodation will give you the full details of how to book that when you email us. And in terms of when to get in contact with us, well, basically for the April tour as soon as possible, because although it's the last week of March, technically it seems quite a long way away. It's 2 months, so we urge you to get in touch within the next few days, and we'll give you some days to think about it, and then you have to book your hotel, then you have to kind of book us, and we'll explain how it works. As Colin says, put me in a cake shop and I'm perfectly fluent in French. I'm good in my comfort areas: cakes, beer, asking people about World War II stuff. Don't ask me to engage about plumbing details or complicated stuff. So that, I think we've covered everything now. So if you have any questions, kind of send them through by email or ask me on Twitter or ask Mag on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. But basically, we're going to leave it at that because we want people to kind of, digest what we said in this video here. But we promise you it's a really good tour. It's me and Mag put it together. We decided quite slowly about if you include this day, it means we can't do this day, but if we do this with it, we think there's a logic to it. Those who are watching, who are on the tours, we feel that we offer a sort of the themes develop over the course of the week. By the end of the week, you kind of understand why we've chosen the sites we chose. So there we are. That's what we're doing. Tours in April, tours in October. We'll be doing similar things maybe next year, but maybe not. We will see how this year goes, and we may do something different next year. Watch that. Hold that thought. But there we are.
The tour is open to any generation, male, women, kids. But we had a 12-year-old.
We had Callum on the first tour, was 14.
It's also a lot of fun. It's also a lot of fun, lots of camaraderie, and it's the opportunity to really discover the Battle of Normandy. But we take time as well, and we take time on each site, each stop, to really appreciate what was going on.
It's about getting the balance right between seeing enough places but spending enough time at them. And again, we can't stress it enough. we develop a real team spirit. Now, some people might be watching thinking, I don't want to get in, I want to be on my own, I don't really like joining. You can join in as much or as little as you like. It's not one of those like embarrassing things where we make you go up on stage and do stuff. It's not like a hypnotist act where we bully you. The people who bond because they have a shared interest. A lot of them watch World War II TV, so they know who I am, they know who Mag is. Some of them knew each other before they even went on a tour. We set up a WhatsApp group, which we have running.
But also, remember, we had, for example, Mike in October, who's never joined any group tour, and he was a bit concerned about that. And at the end, he just loved it.
Yeah, it's not, we don't force anyone to do anything. We just the atmosphere develops because we like to think we're nice people. We think that the people who are attracted by this are nice people, and the October and April tours were just fantastic. So we'll leave it at that. The information is in the description below. We'll be expecting you. I've had at least 2 emails come in while I've been hosting the program. So thanks for that. And thanks, Mag, for co-hosting. And thanks, Mag, in advance for co-hosting the April and October tours. And we will await a flurry of emails, everybody. So in the meantime, 2 more shows coming your way tomorrow. James Holland is on talking about Mark Clark and Romy. Have an amazing show about the Rangers, the disastrous campaign the Rangers faced in the Anzio Beach. That's all coming your way tomorrow. Then Prit Buttar is with us on Saturday talking about the 80th anniversary of the end of the siege of Leningrad. So 3 fantastic shows over the next 48 hours, and then lots of Pacific stuff coming on now next week. We've got lots of great content coming your way. Like, subscribe, the usual, and then we'll await your emails. Cheers, everybody. This is Paul and Mag saying we can't wait to see you on our April and October tours.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.